We do hunts, sell venison to people, cut, wrapped, ready for the freezer. We also sell live deer to people for pets or breeding operations, as well as other hunting operations.
Well, people don't think of this kind of thing in South Mississippi. How did you get interested in it, and how did you get started?
Well, back years ago, approximately 20 years ago, I worked for another operation that got him started in the exotic deer farming business, and after I left him about 8 years later, got off on my own and started farming deer on my own, and it just evolved from that.
Did you ever fool with cattle or horses or anything like that?
Yeah.
How does it compare to that?
Not nearly as good. I've done cattle farming. I don't want any more of that. That's too much work and no money. And deer farming is way better. You can net about 3 to 5 times the amount of money deer farming on the same acreage as you can cattle farming.
Well, is it I mean, I'm not trying to...
No.
Is it something that's hard to do? I mean, why aren't more people doing it if it's other...
Well, there are a lot of people in Mississippi doing it besides me. I was just happened to be one of the first ones that started doing it, and I've been in it right at 20 years altogether and all, and then now, of course, Texas is really doing it. It's like over $500 million a year industry in Texas, and we got more grass, more rainfall, more of everything than Texas has got.
Well, how far would you say is, I mean, you look at people as your customers, your clients, what would be the longest trip you've sold some of your, how far away is that?
Like 600 miles to Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas.
What do people look for when they're looking for I mean, what do they buy? Brood mares? What do you call it? I mean, what?
Brood stock. I mean, breeding stock, whatever. It just depends on some people. Just buy them for pets. Just love deer, want to have some in the backyard. See, red deer or red stag, as these are called, they're native to Europe, and see, in Europe they call them elk. We can't call them elk in the U.S. because of North American elk, so we call them red deer or red stag. And people just buy them for all reasons, you know, some to eat, some for pets. The tamest, most farmed, most sought after trophy animal in the world. Of course, in the U.S., whitetails are, but when you take all of Europe, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, all these foreign countries, more people hunt red stag than anything out there.
Well, what do you look for in your breeding stock, and what kind of characteristics are you trying to breed for when you buy, or do you raise your own sire?
Yeah, I raise my own breeding stock. Of course, we breed for body weight, for antlers, widespreads, and a lot of points and all that. But see, out of red stags, now every country in Europe has got one that they call theirs. Like Yugoslavia's got one, which we call Yugos. Germany's got theirs. English has got theirs. All of them is different. Like English red stags, at maturity they'll carry 20 to 40 points. All right, German and Yugoslavian red stags are wider space antlers, and they'll carry anywhere from 12 to 20 points, more like North American elk is, not very many points. Of course, red stags form a crown on top. What we call a crown is got about 4 or 5 spikers sticked up on top. Of course, red stag will crossbreed with North American elk. They won't crossbreed with whitetails. Only thing ever been proven to crossbreed with whitetails is mule deer. And these are grazers like cows or North American elk, of course, whitetails are browsers. Oh, you can tell at early ages, like a year and a half of age, you can get a good idea of what's going to be a good antler development, good body weight, or good breeder, you know. And it just depends on the particular deer. Like some of them may be spikes, you know, have 6, 8-inch spikes at that age. Some may be a 6 point, some may be 8 or 10 points. Of course, that's what you're looking for a breeder, something like that at that young age. And then you just keep pouring high protein feeds, corn, minerals, vitamins, balanced diet to them, and then you're assured of good body weight as well as maximum antler growth and mass as well as points and length of beam. We do hunting, sport hunting on 2 different hunting areas. One south of Columbia, Mississippi here, down at Sandy Hook, where I have people come in, do paid hunts. Also have another hunting area, Picayune, Mississippi, where I have people coming from out of state and all over to do hunts on red stags, exotic hunts, and we sell production hunts like on females or spikers or whatever, as well as trophy hunts. And we've been doing this approximately 3 years since when Katrina came through the hurricane and wiped out a lot of high fence operations, which I was selling breeding stock to or hunting stock. They got out of the, when trees blew on the fences, they didn't get back into the hunting business, and so I went to having extra stags, so just started doing my own hunting operations at that time.
Well, how does it compare to whitetail hunts and things like that? I guess probably there might be some places in Mississippi that book hunts for whitetails. How do the prices compare to whitetails?
Whitetails bring more money as far as prices goes. There's more demand for them and all, but a lot of people just want to hunt something different, have a different type of mount on the wall, and they may have a lot of different types of animals mounted, not have a red stag, and that's you know, they want to add that to their collection. They come hunt, they bring their kids, 7, 8, 10-year-old kids in the hunt, maybe kill their first deer, their wives. We do bow and arrow hunts as well as rifle, pistol, black powder. We got one guy that's a spear hunter. That's all he hunts with is spear. And out of a tree, 20 so yards, he threw a spear, slammed through one, and he walked about 70 yards and fell over. And so we just got all different types of hunters out there that come hunt with us and hunt with different types of weapons.
Well, how can people find out about your operation, how to book a hunt, things like that?
Well, I don't have a website, but what I work gun and knife shows pretty much on a regular basis, do newspaper and magazine ads, and where the majority of my hunts come from is these gun and knife shows that I hunt, that I work in New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Slidell, Louisiana, and here in Mississippi also.
What is your most common response when people find out that this opportunity is right there in the backyard?
Most of them can't even believe it. So I have a big set of 2 big sets of antlers that I put on my booth table when I get there. A lot of people walk up to them and look at them and say, "What are those?" I said, "They offer red stag." Well, I don't want to fly to Europe to kill a red stag. So you don't have to fly to Europe to kill a red stag. I got them right here in Mississippi. And they look at me and say, "No, you don't." I said, "These wasn't killed in Mississippi or taken in Mississippi." And I said, "Oh yeah, these were." And I said, "I raise them and have hunting areas and all that." I said, "They Mississippi red stag."